I am out on some free, open, public land. And yeah, I just heard some gunshots. They were pretty far away. What's up, everybody? It's Chris from Step Massive, and we are out here on another backpacking trip in Central California. I am out doing a little bit of a different trip than I normally do, in that I am out on some free, open, public land. Bureau of Land Management, BLM land. I'm not going to say exactly where I am, because part of exploring public lands is the exploring part of it, finding your own spot. But I am out here on open federal land. Not a whole lot of rules out here. You can hunt, you can shoot firearms, you can camp, you can hike, you can have fires. I have been here before. I explored this place a couple years ago. And the plan today is we're gonna hike down to this little creek. We're gonna hang the hammock for a couple nights, have some campfires. There is a waterfall nearby. Kind of an open itinerary trip. Just getting out into the woods for a couple nights and enjoying some hammock backpacking. So yeah, I am walking along this like fire road here, so it's not like super wildernessy. There is a fire road, but I had to drive on a one-lane old crumbly road for almost an hour to get up here. No other backpackers or any cars parked up here, just me. So got my Gregory Optic 48, my standard backpack. It is a little bit of a lighter load today since I'm only doing 2 nights. So I was able to throw in a few extra things, like brought my Bushcraft knife, a little folding saw, my little fire kit with my my Char kit, my ferro rod and strikers, all that stuff. Practicing a little Bushcraft skills, you know, making some tinder bundles. Yeah, it's winter now, it's early January, but still got some of those fall colors popping through. Pretty cool. And yeah, I just heard some gunshots. They were pretty far away. So hopefully whoever is out here hunting or doing their target practice is practicing safe firearm practices and, you know, maintaining a good backstop and shooting into a hill or whatever. There's people out here, you know, practicing their rights to discharge firearms out here in open federal land, which is, I don't know, it's kind of cool. All right, so we have reached this little creek here, and there's kind of like a trail that follows alongside the creek, although sometimes you kind of have to walk through the creek. At least that was my experience last time I was exploring down this area. So we're gonna follow the creek for a little bit until we get to the destination I'm planning to camp for the night. And just kind of making our way down the creek here a little bit, just kind of walking right through it. All right, guys, we made it here to this nice little meadowy area. I found this spot a couple years ago when I was out exploring, so I'm gonna set up camp here for tonight. There are a couple trees kind of behind you guys up the hillside, so I'll be able to hang the hammock up there, throw the tarp up. I do have a new tarp on this trip. I'll show you guys that in a second, but got the creek running right over there, pretty convenient, got easy access to water. There is a little fire pit right on the side of the meadow over that way, so definitely gonna have a fire tonight. Probably gonna camp here both nights, and then tomorrow probably just go explore kind of like both sides of the creek, go that way, down that way, just kind of see what's in the area. There is a small waterfall about a mile down the creek that way, so probably go check that out tomorrow. But for now, I'm gonna unpack my gear, get camp set up, go filter some water, and then see what time it is, see how much time I got before sunset. All right, so what I have here today is my new Hammock Gear Hex tarp. It's pretty much just a basic sil nylon tarp, very similar to my War Bonnet Superfly, which is the main tarp I use on most trips, except there's no doors on this and the sides are a little bit shorter. Got it at a super high porch mode. I can completely walk underneath it, which is awesome. And so got my hammock and the underquilt set up. This hammock is a single layer 11-foot netless hammock from Dutchware. And the underquilt is the Hammock Gear 20-degree incubator. And I'm gonna pair that tonight with my 40-degree Revelation top quilt from Enlightened Equipment. That kind of seems to be the combination I've been going with most frequently on my recent trips, is a 20-degree full-length underquilt and then a 40-degree top quilt. I seem to get cold much more underneath, so having the 20-degree underneath plus the 40-degree on top seems to work pretty well for me. I've taken that combination down into the 20s and remained comfortable. I'm kind of seeing like how cold can I go with that combination. I want to see if I can bring it down to the teens even, but that's for another trip. This trip we're only supposed to get down into like the 40s, maybe the high 30s. So I got the little fire pit right here. This is a little evening campfire station area, just about 20-30 feet from the hammock. Gonna kind of relax, still got to filter my water, then start thinking about getting a fire going. And so the sun is just setting over the foothills. Still got a little while until like official sunset. But the sun has dipped down below the horizon. All right, so the sun has just gone down. At least technically it's gone down behind the hillsides surrounding this little valley here. Found myself a little piece of fat wood out in the forest. If you don't know what fat wood is, I'd recommend maybe Googling it, but it's essentially a type of wood that is very ignitable and holds a flame pretty easily. So just kind of shaving off some little shavings of fat wood here. And then went and collected some little grass and duff. Got a little bird's nest going. So the idea for this fire starting is I'm gonna put the fat wood shavings into the bird's nest. And then I have some pre-charred cloth here in my little charring tin. So little sections of cloth. This is basically a little towel, cotton towel that was charred. And this stuff will take a spark really well and just instantly hold the spark. So we're gonna put the fat wood shavings along with the char cloth into the center of the bird's nest and see if we can get that going, just sparking it with the ferro rod that I brought out. This is my Mora knife. It's a Bushcraft knife. This is a really cheap version. It's like a $20 knife. It did not come with a 90-degree spine on it, which you need the 90-degree spine if you're gonna use a knife for a sparking a ferro rod. So I just took a file and filed this down to a 90-degree spine here so I can use it to, got to get the little layer off of the ferro rod before it'll start sparking. There we go. Might need to file it down a little sharper, but I can get some sparks with it. So let's get this fire going. So what I'm going to do now with that char cloth I used to spark the initial spark there is, now that I've got the flame going, I'm going to make some more for next time, even though I still have some left in this little tin here. But basically just take a regular cotton towel. You could use a t-shirt, any 100% cotton material. I've got a little Altoids tin with a little hole poked in the center. And what you do is you put the cotton material into the tin, close it all up, toss it in the fire, wait for it to start smoking. Smoke will start coming out of the hole in like a little stream. I usually give it another minute or two, maybe 5 minutes, and then pull it out, turn it over so that the hole gets plugged and it starts to cool down. What you don't want to do is open your tin immediately after pulling it out of the fire, because the oxygen could go in there and actually spark the char cloth and ignite it, and then it's ruined. So the cloth doesn't actually get ignited while it's in there, it just gets burned and like charred. And if you do it right, you're left with that black kind of ashy material that can still hold a spark. And then all you have to do is hit that with a ferro rod and the whole thing will like light up like a coal. It all turns red. That's what I had in the center of my tinder bundle. So anytime I'm doing kind of a bushcraft style fire with like, you know, a ferro rod, using a spark, using char cloth, I always use a little bit of char cloth and then make some more for next time, so this thing's always full. It's time to kick back, relax, and just enjoy the gentle flames of a campfire while the creek rolls by in the background and beautiful fall colors are still out all around here in this little meadow area. Perfect evening out here, just enjoying a night or two out in the woods. Nobody else out here, just me. All right, my friends, so I'm just hanging out by the fire. I'm gonna let it burn down a little bit. You can see my my hammock hanging right there with the underquilt, the tarp, my little blue clothes bag. And probably gonna be dark in another 30-40 minutes or so. I'm just gonna kind of relax and probably wrap things up for tonight. So that is my progress report, day 1, success. Smoky thumb.